The opponent was, also an opponent that really fits to our game. It was quite a footballing good opponent, and that gives us more chances to work against the ball and to win balls. So, but also our game with the ball was much better to look at. I think it was clearer and more structured than in the past. We worked quite hard in the preseason to develop this part of our game. And we had chances to score more than 3 goals, and gives me a good feeling. And what also important was the defending around the box. Also the chances we gave away were very less, and most of the time it was when we made a mistake behind, but normally it was a very clinical performance from our side, yes. Yeah, it was an important game. I remember this. We to the back 4 the first time, and then we had a very good game against an opponent that made the equalizer in the overtime. So we only took 1 point, but I think it was one of our best games then in this season, in the beginning until that moment. And something of a turnaround absolutely for us.
Can you tell us your team news going into this game, please?
Yeah, so far, players are all fit. Longy is back, trained with the team this week. And so we have another opportunity in front. Only Musa is out with his suspension. The rest is available.
Jordan, is that me done, or am I allowed to ask a couple more?
You can ask a couple more if you want whilst we're waiting for Sky.
Ralph, how about Arsenal since lockdown? What have you made of them in their 2 defeats?
I think they had a difficult start. Strong opponents against Man City. They have 3 away games in a row. It's never easy. A few problems with injuries. A very, very bad injury last week for Bernd Leno, and hope he wish him all the best. That he gets fit quick and soon. But we knew that it would be a very difficult time now in the beginning. We have a lot of games in short term, and everybody must try to have the squad in the best physical quality as possible. So I think we showed last week that we are quite good in our physical shape. But Arsenal, they have so much quality in front, and especially with the ball, it's a fantastic team. So we must be very good organized, very concentrated, and then we have a chance.
We've heard from a lot of players about what it's like and how strange it is to play in an empty stadium. What's it like for a manager? Is it helping you get messages across?
Yes, I must say it was for me a little bit easier, and you get the message easier to the players also if they are further away from you, because when there's a good atmosphere in the stadium, normally there's no chance to do it. So this can sometimes help. Maybe sometimes it's too much for the players, but then we have to stay calmer. But in the end, I think it's an advantage for the coach anyway. That doesn't mean that it's nicer to play without our fans. So we would like to have them, especially when you win the games together in the stadium. Then it's a special moment, and we miss this absolutely. But for the poor coaching, it's easier. Yes.
And I suppose this is a slightly difficult question. Southampton's home form has been an issue for a few seasons now. Could this perhaps be a turning point, that it's something so very different that perhaps now a run at home could happen?
Yeah, when we speak about the advantage of home games, I think, and that is gone in these games now without crowd. For us, we have absolutely worst stats at home. And so for us, we only can get better. You're right. Yeah, it is not possible to do it worse. Would be when there's the argument that we have sometimes pressure at home and play different, I think this argument is gone now. So we can also focus completely on what we do best. And nobody will have any arguments now why I shouldn't work at home exactly the same, better than in the past. So we take the last 8 games and the 4 home games we have to make a better growth than so far.
Just finally, how did you rate James Ward-Prowse's first game as full-time captain? Did he rise to the challenge the way you'd hoped?
I think I have heard from worse things than starting with 3-0 as a captain. So definitely not the worst start for him. I think he did again a fantastic job. But I must also say that the way Pierre acts with this is also very professional and nothing else I expected, to be honest. It was maybe for you outside a more critical decision that I take than for me inside, because I know my players and I know that this would work. And Prowse did again an amazing job. He's always a role model for how we want to play, and Pierre was also fantastic. The center was so strong in the last game, and the 2 guys really. You see, there's nothing about. Don't want him to be captain or something like that. No, was very professional from both sides, and this is what a coach likes to see.
Thanks,
stuff. Thank you, Ralph.
Just a reminder for those who might have come in a bit later, this is the immediate use section. We'll do a second one for 10:30 this evening. And if you can just use the raise hands feature, if you have a question, we'll get round to you all. We'll go to Jeremy now at Sky Sports.
Hello, Ralph. Hello. I can't hear you at the moment. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, sorry. Ralph, hello. Sorry, I missed the first few minutes of this. I was going to ask you about Kyle Walker-Peters. Obviously, he's staying with you now to the end of the season. What are your thoughts about giving him a run in the team? Because many Saints fans now want to see him in the team. And what are your thoughts, too, about making his loan move permanent at the end of the season?
Well, I have not decided it yet. And it's right, he will stay until the end of the season with us. And we have now 8 games in the short term. So it's quite likely that he can start 1 game or 2 games or whatever. It's important that we trust every player who is with us. And I do this. And when he gets the chance, I'm sure he will make a good game.
Your first win as Southampton manager was against Arsenal way back in December 2018. I'm sure you remember it well. Is it true to say that you like the feeling of beating Arsenal? And what are your memories of that first win over them when you were Saints boss?
Yeah, it feels like it is 10 years ago, so it's long gone. So there's nothing older than the success you had yesterday in football. So don't look too much back to such moments. Sure, you will never forget this. It was a special moment to be the first time in the stadium and then immediately take a 3-2 win in a fantastic game. What stays the same is that it is always difficult against such a good opponent to win, and that you have to make a very, very good game. And this is all the energy I'm using to concentrate on this. And for us, after the first good step back in business, it's important to show also again at home that we stay on our very hungry and successful way of playing.
And Danny Ings scored twice in that match, if you remember. He's now on 16 Premier League goals, and with Arsenal depleted by injury and also suspension, is Danny Ings the man to cause them more problems, do you think?
Hopefully, yeah. But we have also other players who can score. That showed the last game. Our cans are also hot, Brady and Stewie. And yeah, it's good that we have more players on the pitch that can score. we had massive chances in the last game, and but also didn't give a lot of chances away. And this was the good fundament of being successful, and this must stay the same for the future.
One last one, if I may. Are you thinking along the lines of beating Arsenal will guarantee safety and 40 points? Are you telling the boys, you win this one, we're safe?
We want to take as much points as possible in the last 8 games, and the more wins we take, the higher we climb in the table. So we know that for the relegation, I think we are in a very good position now. It's quite unlikely that we get relegated. I think one more win, and we have 40 points, and with 40 points we were always sure that we are safe. But there's more to get for us, and when we show these behaviors we showed in the last game and during the whole preseason, I was quite happy with the way the team worked on the pitch. Everybody in the club worked so far, and the way we started was quite good. But this is now an opponent who has much more quality in front, so we must really be careful and show that we can again have a clean sheet and win again.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeremy. We will go to Lewis Coombs at South today.
Can I make these pictures here up on this level?
Hi, Ralph. Can you hear me okay there?
Yeah, I can hear. That was good because then I can look up and...
There you go. It's like we're in the same room, nearly. Just going back to the Norwich game, you left it to 80 minutes to make your first substitution. Other teams obviously have made changes earlier. Were you surprised at the level of fitness of your team?
No. I was not surprised because I see them every day. And we had quite intense sessions in this short preseason. And the level they came back to the first session, I think, was a very high one. So they did a good job in this long break and stayed fit. And compliment to my staff and to the players that they showed that they are really fit.
Do you see fitness being a key advantage or a key characteristic that you can gain from over the next coming weeks as other teams kind of get up to speed as well?
I think it's the most important thing of fitness is that you minimize the risk of getting injured. And when you have so many games, I think this is quite likely otherwise. And so this protects you a little bit more. And this is what our players know. And the rest, I think in the games, it's a lot about quality and not only about fitness. But it is helpful if you make more sprints, if you more or higher deceleration, accelerations, then it's definitely not a disadvantage.
Do you see that lockdown actually came at a good time for your squad in many ways, because the form wasn't great going into it and you seem to have started in a rich vein?
Yeah, but it was only the first game, so the first fruits you get from the tree are normally not the best, so you must wait for the second one and the third one, and then you can say if it's really good. So keep them on the ground. I will do this, and then finally we have to show up now all 3-4 days, and this is what we want to.
You mentioned about that 36-point mark through the season to now get there. How crucial is that for you in terms of your long-term planning, looking to next season in terms of signings and maybe tying in players on contracts and things like that?
It's absolutely helpful that we have now 37 points, so we normally know that we are next season also in the Premier League, but we want to have more. We want to climb higher, and we want to every position we climb is more money for the club in the next season. And we don't need more than a game on the weekend, about 3 points in the Premier League, that we are fully motivated. And it's up for us to be still critical with what we have done last week, because not everything was perfect, especially the beginning was not so good. And we had, I think, a quite good debrief of the game, and finally learn from what you have what lack you had in your game, and keep on doing what you have done good.
And then just one more, finally, if I can, a word on Stuart Armstrong. Now 4 goals in his last 7 appearances. How important is he becoming for your team? He seems to really understand what you expect from that position.
Yeah. I know also that our history together was not the easiest one, I think, because you had a very clear. He's a smart guy, and he's a very clear opinion what he wants to play. Yeah, I had to take a lot of. I had to speak a lot of times with him to convince him about that the number 10 is a perfect position for him in my shape. And I think now he feels very comfortable. He knows exactly what he has to do against the ball and with the ball, and that gives him more confidence. And I know that he can score. Has a good finish with both legs. So both feet, it's good.
Thank you for your time, Ralph.
Thanks, Lewis. We're going to Simon Peach at the PA.
This one.
Yeah. You said both.
Convinced was it's just like I sometimes I miss it, and then.
There he is.
Hi, Ralph.
Hi.
Just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Just checking. As today's the extension date for those for the rest of the season, I was just wondering if you could confirm if Kevin Danso would be staying for the duration, whether his deal has been extended.
The same like Kyle, haven't decided yet. Let them play the last 8 games. Let me look how far he is in his development, how quick he takes it, and then we have time to decide it. So everybody should get the chance to show up in the last games.
Southampton are bottom of the table in terms of home form. Obviously, it's a very different surroundings now you're going to be going into. Is this a chance to press reset, perhaps, on the home form at St. Mary's and maybe build some momentum for when the fans do return?
Yeah, could be. Yeah, it could be a chance for a reset. And as I said, the stats can get more worth, I think. So it was not really a fantastic season from our side. If we are successful, not that it looks fancy. You can only play without our fans at home. So, but I think it's absolutely necessary to show that we can win more games at home, if with our crowd or not. Our fans know that we do everything what we do for them to make them happy. And if they are not in our stadium, I think they will enjoy, hopefully, watching us from home, supporting us from home, and they should know that we really like to see them back.
And finally, from me, what have you made of the work Mikel Arteta has done? Obviously, it's been a difficult restart, but there were some positive signs early on of his time at Arsenal. And is this a good time to be playing them, or perhaps a bad one, given that they're going to be looking to bounce back?
Against a strong team, it's never a good or bad moment. It's always difficult because they have quality, they have fantastic players, and it's always to play the game. And even if they have a few injuries, the squad is so big, they can absolutely hit back immediately. And if you give them a little space, they are unstoppable when with their speed. So we must really take care, really pay attention of everything, and finally make a very, really good game.
Thank you. Good luck.
Mm.